Die Melkprodusente-organisasie het vanjaar hul 24ste Large Herds-konferensie by die Boardwalk Hotel in Gqeberha aangebied. Plaas Media se Carin Venter het hierdie dag bygewoon. Kom ons hoor met wie sy gesels het.
Ons is hier by die Large Herds-konferensie in Gqeberha en ek het vandag 'n bietjie gepraat oor die revolusie wat besig is om uit te speel in die land se elektrisiteitsbedryf. Nou, boere sal dit ken. In die 1990s is Suid-Afrika se landbousektor totaal gedereguleer en al die sektore van landbou is op hulle koppe omgekeer. 'n basiese proses van 10 jaar tussen 1990 en 1999. Wel, presies dieselfde proses speel nou uit in elektrisiteit, in generasieopwekking, maar ook in transmissie en ook in distribusie. En eweneens is dit 'n proses wat 10 jaar of langer gaan duur. Eweneens is dit 'n proses wat die hele Suid-Afrikaanse ekonomie se manier waarop ons krag gaan koop en verbruik, gaan op sy kop omkeer. En dit skep geleenthede vir diegene wat vinnig is en wat hulle huiswerk doen en wat dit reg kry om verbruikers, boere byvoorbeeld, wat plaasverbruikers van krag is, op te skakel of aan te sluit by energiehandelaars wat in staat is om goedkoper energie aan hulle te verskaf. Dit is 'n baie opwindende nuwe wêreld en een wat die boere uit kan goed doen. Loadshedding is nou 'n baie algemene onderwerp, veral met die feit dat ons nie loadshedding gehad het voor die verkiesingen. Maar die feit is eenvoudig, Suid-Afrika het oor die laaste 2-3 jaar veral soveel nuwe kapasiteit geïnstalleer, dat dit die nuwe kapasiteit is wat help om die Eskom las te verlig, wat help om loadshedding te verminder. So dis iets wat ons saam met ons kan neem. Ek dink oor die volgende 2 jaar of so, is die nuwe belegging wat gemaak gaan word in krag, veral in kragopwekking en kraggenerasie, gaan help dat ons kan tot sien sê vir loadshedding as gevolg van opwekkingsprobleme. En dan kan ons aanskuif na transmissie toe en na distribusie toe en om dit te gaan aanspreek en regmaak.
I've been speaking to the SA Large Herds-konferensie for dairy farmers here in Port Elizabeth. And we mostly spoke about the risks that climate change poses for not just the dairy industry, but all of agriculture in South Africa, and how different parts of the country are going to be affected in different ways. And the only advice I can really give to farmers is learn about how climate change is going to impact your local area. There's lots of really good publications by organizations like the CSIR, where you'll be able to drill down into your local district and it'll let you know what you can expect over the next 30, 40, 50 years. 3 things that you should be doing to protect yourself from climate change. First is to diversify, and that doesn't only mean stretch out of your industry, but make sure that your suppliers are from a wide range of different places, that your stock is diversified genetically as well as from a species point of view. So that's the first way to protect yourself. Then stewardship is really, really important, to understand that you need to care for your land and to take ownership of that land. And finally, cooperation. This is not something that you can respond to on your own. You need to be talking to your neighbours, to your local government officials, to your provincial government officials, and really starting to work as a community to bolster the sustainability of your area.
I'm a professor of animal welfare at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver, Canada. So I think about 17,000 kilometers from where the South African Large Herd Dairy Conference is being held. My talk today was about animal welfare. It was hopefully a little bit inspirational. We touched upon a few things that I think will have given, and I warned the audience that it would make them a little bit wiggly. We talked a lot about the public, the role of the consumer. I don't often use the word consumer because it's actually sort of society in general, and the issue around social license to farm and some of the risks that we see on farms today in the practice, and that there are some practices that we do every day that they're common on every farm, but when the public hears about it, gives them a little bit, makes them uncomfortable. and things like cow-calf separation. And I'm not saying that we should keep cows and calves together tomorrow, but these are issues that in other parts of the world that people are starting to ask questions. Another issue is, and it's often been referred to as dairy's dirty little secret, is what happens to those calves that are male or are not used for the replacement milking herd down the road. These are really tough questions because right now we don't have really good answers. Many of these calves are euthanized immediately after birth because the alternative is to put them on a truck for 25 hours, and that's also not a good life. But I think the dairy industry needs to think bigger and think more long term, because at the end of the day, we need to understand the issues that are important for the public because they are the consumer, and we need to come up with practices that resonate with societal values in the long term. Thank you.
I was talking about the breeding and efficient replacement system, and what that means is how do we produce the best quality heifers in the most cost-effective way, and that it's a broad topic, and it basically covers developing the right number of heifers with the best genetics that are healthy and reach their lifetime targets. I focused, because it's such a broad topic, I focused today on successfully implementing sex semen technology into the breeding plan. With sex semen, there's a number of advantages for the dairy industry, and it's certainly that's where the sex semen technology has really gained a lot of momentum. And the reason for that is that we can now generate good quality replacements from our best cows. So there's a lot of we can boost genetic progress, and that is only a good thing with regards to production, health and fertility and longevity of these animals. It also enables us to diversify our income stream in the dairy industry. So with the improvements that have with the improvements in sexing technology and the use of sex semen gaining a lot of momentum, we are now able to use a lot more beef semen in our dairy herds and produce calves which have got value. And so we have a beef type calf which then goes into beef production, and that is a much more sustainable way of producing pregnancies and producing calves on our dairy farms. So to successfully implement sex semen into your farm, it requires good planning. You need to have a good reproductive performance in your herd, and it requires you to understand your goals, understand where you're going, decide whether you're in an expanding phase or in a stable phase, and then you can start considering the use of sex semen. And I would suggest that you start off conservatively, that you decide to use it in your heifer group. They in general are your higher fertility animals. They should be the better genetics in theory on the farm, and so you can boost genetic gain by using these heifers. There are other advantages such as improved calving ease, and your return on investment is better with using this product in the heifers. So start conservatively and see how successful you are with your heifers. Make sure that you've sat down with your consultants and your herd health veterinarians, and you've planned what your breeding strategy is going to be, and how to successfully introduce this into your breeding plan going forward.
Ons is hier by die 2024 Suid-Afrikaanse groot kudde-konferensie, of soos hy meer bekend is, South African Large Herds-konferensie. Natuurlik is vir ons 'n groot voorreg om hier te kan wees, en ook ons as die Melkprodusente-organisasie in samewerking met die Large Herds-organisasie Committee om ook hierdie pragtige geleentheid aan te bied. Ons is sekerlik die grootste ene wat in die laaste 25 jaar gedoen is. Dit is 'n groot mylpaal ook wat ons gehaal het. En ja, met die tema van die kongres wat ook natuurlik meestals gaan oor energie, is dit vir ons ook lekker om uit te sien na al die sprekers. En ons het nou reeds die 2 openingssprekers gehad vanoggend wat fantasties was. Dit was Vusi Tembuklayo en dan JP Landman wat baie interessant was, en ons het dit baie geniet. Ons sien ook uit na die res van die kongres. Ja, ons weet ook in die primêre suiwelbedryf is daar maar altyd uitdagings en ons is ook in die laaste tyd moes ons ook natuurlik gekyk het na al die uitdagings wat ook op ons pad gekom het, die back and closure wat natuurlik een van die grootstes was, en ons is ook ondanks die Desmanda-krisis, waarby 'n klomp van ons melkboere natuurlik vir 'n redelike tyd en hoeveelheid van hulle melk nie betaal is nie, maar wat in elk geval op die stadium die grootste is natuurlik die back and close krisis wat in die hele Oos-Kaap nou aan die gang is. Onlangs ook weer gehoor van 'n nuwe uitbraak in Londen wat vir ons baie sleg is om te hoor. Ja, ons hoop en bid regtig dat al ons boere ook hierdie krisis sal kan deurstaan en ons sal ook van ons kant af so ver as moontlik ook vir hulle kan bystaan en help waar dit moontlik is. Verder is ons dankbaar om ook eintlik te kan rapporteer dat primêre suiwel op die stadium nie op 'n slegte plek is nie. Tot 'n groot mate toe gaan dit met die meeste van ons boere goed. En ons is dankbaar om dit te kan sê en ons hoop en bid saam met hulle dat dit natuurlik ons toekoms mooi en rooskleurig sal wees.